Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Aaron Hageman, the founder and CEO of 75X Strategy. Aaron brings over 25 years of entrepreneurial experience, having scaled Delivery Drivers Inc. from a $1 startup to a seven-figure exit with Walmart, and now leads Haman Enterprises. Founded in 2022 to empower businesses through fractional CEO guidance and strategic advisory services. Based in California, his company is revolutionizing how founders and executives unlock strategic growth and build self-sufficient organizations. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business transforms clients in areas like contractor management and leadership, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Aaron, welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks, Jay. I am honored and stoked to be here today. Really excited, man.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. Really can't wait to dive deep in with you for our listeners. And with that, would love for you to start at the top for us. If you could take us back to the beginning, Aaron, what specific problem in the business scaling or leadership landscape really inspired you to start 75X Strategy?
Yeah, let's go back, right? I'll take your way back. I gotta update that bio for you. 25, I'm a little older these days. 25 years makes me sound, anyways. But no, I think relevant here. I'm 47 these days. And I've been an entrepreneur very formally since I was 19. I bought the business that in the bio I later sold to Walmart, an HR tech platform for 1099 workers. But over the years, I have owned lots of different companies. I think to your question, I've been the majority owner of a professional soccer team in New Mexico. A little bit
Wow.
of sports meets entrepreneurialism.
Very
Been
cool.
the partner to an events company and an entrepreneurial mastermind and a marketing business. And the moral of the story is somewhere along the way, as an entrepreneur for me, who I am, is I equate it to a puzzle,
Mm.
right? Like some of us are really good at building puzzles and it doesn't really matter what the picture on the puzzle is. Figured out that process, scaled the HR tech platform called Delivery Drivers Inc. DDI. And again, that was a sort of an ADP for independent contractors, right? A
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
transportation, specifically drivers and 1099 drivers. And we scaled and sold that to a $2 billion run rate. Had it for over 20 years, but I had Walmart as a client, and then toward the end went on a about a 75x sprint. That's where the brand on the advisory stuff comes from today. But I'll pause there. That's who I am, to what I'm up to today, and we'll talk about it today a little bit as an advisor with 75x strategies. Really, it's about my background of loving entrepreneurialism and understanding kind of that puzzle, no matter what we're up to. I work with clients that do all kinds of crazy stuff these days. Doesn't have anything to do with each other.
So I definitely want to get into that, Aaron, especially with what you're doing today. Obviously, clear as day that the passion and drive that you have, it exudes through you. I feel it through the conversation. So, a pleasure to have you on the show first and foremost. But I really would love to know the nuts and bolts about what you're doing with 75X Strategy today. So,
Sure.
the core offer there, who is your ideal client that you love to work with on this offer? And how is that offer structured for your clients when they do come and work with you?
Yeah, let's get right into it. There's a lot of consultants out there, and I don't use the C words. Consultant, coach, I can play those roles, but that's not really where I fit in.
Yeah.
I act as an advisor. I like to say consigliere. That's my C word, right? The entrepreneur in residence to sit in the as an executive peer to the entrepreneur. So what that looks like is an opening engagement is usually 3 months long, and we set it over 90 days with a weekly format of engagement, right? It's a one-on-one with the entrepreneur, alternating with strategic working sessions with often the leadership team where we're working on the business. What are the roadblocks? What are the goals? And it's pretty amazing. The goal here is to bring outside eyes onto the organization and help them with their respective puzzle on where they're at. A lot of times, if you've done it before, that's the idea. Play Sherpa, I guess, if I were to summarize it and say, oh, I've walked this path. I've built the systems. I've built teams at this level. To your question, I can work with all different level entrepreneurs, but the sweet spot, really, where I found where we can make the most impact, especially in a 90-day period as an opening engagement, and then we work together past that, is with businesses trying to get over, I call it the 8-figure hump, right? They're stuck at 7, 8, 9 million. They can't get over that $10 million mark in revenues, right? Because there's behavioral changes that have to happen in all organizations. Again, don't care what our service or product is, that when we want to change and become an 8-figure organization to move to 10, 12, and then to scale beyond, there's a lot that has to change. And I love working with businesses here and helping unlock those roadblocks and keys and really help them because there's some velocity that comes once we get to that next level. It's fun.
I absolutely love that. Just really taking everything that you've been able to learn over your career and really just apply it here and show other leadership teams how to get to that next level. Incredible. So that fractional CEO side, the coaching package, the formal engagement that you have is really what you're bringing to the table. On that front, talk to us about the scalability of these offers
Mhm.
and what you're thinking about on scaling these type of offers and which of the offers do you see most effective to with your clients right now? Which one are your clients really going for the most?
So there's a couple of ways to think about it, right? One, I think of scaling the relationship and
Yep.
scaling the engagement. And it's like this with any business, right? We have different tiers of customers, and some customers that get involved, they love working with you and they do their thing. But then there's some customers that lean in a little more. And what we found, the team and I, we call them tracks.
Mm.
So we have our base track, and we'll call that the strategy engagement, right? But then once we're working together and we're getting to months 3, 4, 5, 6 and beyond, and we start to realize, oh, wow, this business can use some more support on this piece of the puzzle. I don't know what it could be, the finance piece. It could be often marketing is a kind
Right.
of hot button lately. There's so much change in marketing all the time. But whatever the piece is, maybe they want help with goals and KPIs. We can expand our engagements with those clients, really deepen those engagements and add second and third tracks and more time and more resources and team members from my side that can become specialized in that. So if they want marketing expertise, one of my business partners in crime, she's a fractional CMO. She's a wizard, strategic growth, marketing, all these things can come in and blow your mind on that if a client wants a little more depth on a particular piece. So that's one lens.
Yeah.
The second lens is how do I, the entrepreneur, scale this business? Because I've had some great exits and I love doing this, but it's about the engagement. I'm not
Right.
looking for 100 clients.
Right.
So, how do I scale this business with a 10 client mentality? And so, that's a fun conversation with me and my team on what that looks like. And I think the first part of my answer is one of the ways to do that.
Yeah.
You don't need a ton of clients, you can just really get a little deeper with the ones we have.
With the ones you have. So that's the real approach there for where you are now, not really looking to make this a huge thing, is really just getting close knit with what you're doing, have a certain amount of clients, work with them, and then slowly but surely add to that there. Not looking to really go too crazy right away.
Yeah, but no. Come on, we're on Founders Future right now. Let's keep it real. Like, I'm a goals guy and I believe in goals and growth. And I love stats and I work with all different types of businesses. By the way, just to be clear, I have some clients that are just doing a couple of million a year and really ready to turn that corner in
Yeah.
their business. And one of the things I found myself talking about, and I'm going to murder the stats, but it's right around 5%.
Okay.
5% of the businesses in this country make it to $1 million. And I'm like, okay, we're performers, right? Whatever we're doing, whatever the business is, you could have a flower shop, a bakery, an advisory firm, a podcast like this. And 5% of businesses, 1 out of 20, ever make it to 1 million. So I was like, all right, that's the first goals.
Yeah.
And as I look at that, my goal and set goals, and this is $2 million. And I think it's a very respectable goal when I look at my business, right? I've got a team and I've got expenses and people who carry around this and people I can support, which is great. And that's gross revenue on here. And so I was like, let's go. And I feel good and really proud of that goal. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to trying to get to that first million, which is where I'm at again with this particular venture. And yeah, that's where I'm
I
at.
love it. I absolutely love that. So talk to us a little bit about that team. I know you have a team with you. Is that a
Mhm.
sales team, marketing team, assistants with you? What does that team look like as far as the sales process when working through these engagements with your clients?
All right, here we go. We're going to spend most of the time talking about my right hand. And what I mean by that is my first team member is Brooke,
Okay.
Brooke Petkus on the team. And she has been with me for 8 years now. And Brooke started as not my personal assistant, but my executive assistant in a large scaling organization. Eventually moved up into really an operating chief of staff within that couple $1 billion organization we built. When we sold that, she and I went and started Hageman Enterprises, the parent company behind everything we're doing with 75X Strategy and some other ventures. And so she is my right hand, acting as really the vice president of operations to all these things, makes everything go. She's still the boss on this one. I, as an entrepreneur, and to take the mic here for the audience, I really believe in the idea that if you don't have an assistant, you are one. And I work as a two-person team for a long time.
Mm.
It's part of my madness. It's part of my self-awareness and knowing who I am. And I'm not great at follow-ups, or maybe I don't even want to do some of those things sometimes. You'll notice I was not involved in scheduling this podcast with us here today. And it's good. And this is how one plus one can equal four. That's on that side. One of my business twins, we would say, is Marissa Friedman. She's that fractional CMO that I had referred to. Really, when clients start to need that growth side, because I'm looking at organizational architecture and people and systems and structure, all the bones we need to move forward. But then when it's how do we grow and really put a new lens on growth strategically, that's where she comes in and really can help supplement the relationship. So if I pause there for time, that's the three amigos that we really drive the ship on that side. We've got a lot of great team members behind us and specialized coaches that are really great at like EQ or sales coaching in different pieces as we need to. But that's the primary ship and that's the primary team.
I absolutely love it. So then talk to us a bit about that acquisition side. What's working best for you? Clearly having a marketing company in the past and seeing
hmm
so much
hmm
success. What's working best for 75X strategy today as far as
Mm.
acquisition channels? Do you have a lever that you can pull, Aaron, that's a predictable lead generation system that you have? Or what's the most effective, whether it's ads, social media? Talk to us a bit about that.
Love the question. And mind you, I'm a strategist, so I'm going to give you
Yes.
the answer in that lens first. So, one, I believe for all businesses in the idea of putting out, we look at the marketing kind of playbook, and we are going to find the best two or three strategies out there that work for each of our businesses. So, I'll give you the answer for 75X strategy, right? For us, it's a mix of social media on one hand, and I call them live events. Oh, there's always ways to be. Sometimes you're on stage, sometimes you're not, but live rooms, right? Getting in live rooms and those relationships. And that works very well for my business. It's exciting when we talk about the social media because it's not just the old stuff. Marissa and the team, some of the stuff they're fantastic at is the next level tools, the AI tools that can automate some of the processes online, answer questions for people, engage. Heck, I'm pretty sure there's a robot version of me out there wearing a fake Atari t-shirt with too many fingers online. One of those things. But some of the tools behind that are continuing to evolve and pushing how we're doing some of that stuff. So that works really well, right? And you need in 2025, we need social proof. You got to be online, got to have that stuff and have a voice and at least just some consistency there. So I think those are a couple of the main things for us when we think when we're in that genre of coaching, consulting, advisory categories. That works pretty well. Now, for
Love
me, I'm a relationships guy. I love people. So those live rooms work very well. And I'm a teacher. So if you give me a stage in an hour and I can teach you something and show like the room, hey, here's like a topic, let's break this down, usually
it.
comes across pretty well. And a couple of people are like, hey, I want to work with that
I want to
guy.
work with this guy. Which I mean, as I mentioned, your energy is incredible. I don't blame him for wanting to come and work with Aaron here and what you got going on.
Good baby. You're in Myrtle Beach. I'm in Laguna Beach. It's gorgeous outside. I can't be upset on a day like this.
it's not possible to. It's not possible to. Aaron, what would you say is the most effective way that you're bringing in leads right now out of those strategies that you have going?
What's the most effective, you ask?
What's the most effective out of those?
I think the playbook for me, and let's just say the boutique format of a business. And again, I love to translate stuff. So that could be any business out there. It could be a flower shop, right? So boutique format, one-on-one engagement, still the old school relationship sales. You
Yes,
need a process and a playbook and stuff to convert and make sure we're going into rooms with a battle plan.
absolutely.
But yeah. For me, if I'm working with somebody, it is a relationship. I've got to be a good fit for them as much as they've got to be a good fit for me. So that live rooms, those interactions and understanding like, oh, we can communicate well. We did sit down and talk for 30 minutes and already made progress on something. Having a little test in the waters and the relationship basis. I love the live rooms for me. Works pretty well.
I
I
love
lose
it.
my voice after a while, as you can hear. I did a live event earlier last week.
I can
Still
imagine
recovering
so.
from that.
I love that. So, what can you attest to then, Aaron, as far as a bottleneck that you're thinking about right now, whether it is a more consistent lead generation system or model, or the fact that it's just three of you guys, so more around the sales process, setters and closers, having them in place, or the fulfillment side? What kind of bottlenecks are you thinking about that you want to get solved?
I don't know if it's a bottleneck, but I don't know. One of the things we're working on, called a roadblock. So
Yeah.
bottleneck, we'll put it in the category,
Yeah.
is in this format of a type of business model where we just have a one-off engagement. We have customers and it's great, but
Yes.
that's the end of it. We
Yeah.
don't have an MRR per se. There's
Gotcha.
not a product on that side. What we start to look at, I think that helps the overall momentum of a business like this, is developing and structuring. And then there's the opportunity for like small engagement and MRR basis, a community. Right. So we've been having some great conversations with some community builders in different worlds and female-led communities and Latino-led communities and all different things, different industries in the film space. So many communities out there. And so really understanding that kind of a roadblock, but and it's not easy. And that's where I put it into the roadblock. We're trying and we're starting to do a couple of things and build some tools out there. But yeah, it's that early momentum on that I think is important, but it's also challenging.
I absolutely love that. And that's the beauty of being a founder and seeing going through so much is there's always going to be something there, which is why I love asking that for our listeners on the show who are other founders, right? What types of roadblocks are they going through comparatively speaking to what you're doing and the plan to get through that? So just incredible and truly appreciate you sharing on that side. So I do have one more question for you before
Let's
going into
go.
the lightning round and wrapping it up. And that's just going to be paint us the picture of the rest of the year for you here, right? What is the
Mm.
vision for that continued growth and scale of 75X strategy? Walk us through what that looks like for you.
Nice. So I've got a pretty full event calendar, right? So we talk about that strategy number one and the live events in the room. I've got opportunities to engage and work with people in September or in August and September and taking some time off for the summer. So really coming back in August through the rest of the year, there isn't a live event on my calendar, at least one or two a month. So that's number one. And if you want to figure out and connect with me, you can find me at aaron75xstrategy.com or aaron75x on Instagram and just keep up and find rooms to be in, right? And so that's number one. So when I think about the second half of the year, secondarily, it is really interestingly going back to what I said with the community stuff. We've got a few things out there we're trying and that we're putting out there, starting a program called The Lab, and
Yeah.
it's an online community where we're bringing in online professors. We're going to geek out a little bit, put some lab coats on,
Yeah.
and really get into the building blocks and the P's and Q's and providing some tools and workshops. So that's something that's coming as we launch that the second half of the year, because that gives us the bridge. Because live rooms are one thing, but that doesn't scale super easy and travel burns out and it's fun, but it is what it is. So I think bringing the online version of our community where we can get together in office hours and these environments. Heck, I built businesses through COVID, so this doesn't scare me. You and I are 3,000 miles away, but we can engage, we can
We can
talk.
get it.
I got my
Absolutely.
rules. We always do video chats. A little annoying. Got to put your pants on in the morning and come to work. But anyways, really getting that online community. So yeah, if you or your audience has more help and want to help me with that, please let's go. So that's the second half of the year. Execute the calendar we have and then bring this community initiative through the lab behind 75X strategy to life.
Incredible. And then last but certainly not least here, Aaron, what is a piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in? Obviously, an immense amount of success in your career and looks like you're going to do some big things with 75X here as well. What is a piece of advice that you can leave us with before wrapping up the show?
All right, I'm prepared. I thought this one on your notes. I got two, but I'll make it fast. And you've probably heard them before. But that's the key, right? We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. So for the audience, here's the two things. One, defeat your Superman syndrome. We've got to get the big red S off your chest. The fact is, we're entrepreneurs because we're good at something, we're talented at something. You love flowers, you open that flower shop, but we can't even, not even scale. Success can't be about us. You've heard it's about teams and building and just you've got even small teams. You've got to be able to do that. So number one, get the Superman syndrome off of your chest. Think about how we execute our business, not in the lens of Aaron and Jay and or myself or my employees. Like we like to say, no names on the whiteboard when we're doing a little bit of planning on here. Because if I'm sick or if I'm on vacation, what's the job? All right.
Yeah.
Defeat your Superman syndrome, number one. And number two, you've heard this a million times, but I believe in a lot of young entrepreneurs talk to me these days and like, what's your number one piece of advice? And if I got one thing and I don't have more time, I'll just go right to financial literacy. It's so boring to say this, but know your numbers. Learn how you have to learn how to read a P&L, how to read a statement of cash flows, how to read a balance sheet. It is another language of sorts behind business. There's a reason there's a subset of classes on financial literacy. Learn it. It's like reading in business. It's the foundation to doing other stuff really well. You want to get really good at goals, understand your numbers, and then our goals program becomes like amazing how we execute with specificity and clarity. So, no Superman syndrome. Go be a nerd, put your glasses on, and learn your financial literacy. There you go.
I love it. I love that. With that right there, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Aaron, I truly cannot thank you enough. An incredible journey and coming on the show to share your insights today. Truly a pleasure and an honor having you on. And as I mentioned, clear as day that you're going to continue to do some incredible things. And we will be keeping up with the Aaron show. So truly, again, thank you so much for coming on the show with us today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And also check out 75x Strategy at 75xstrategy.com to learn more about their fractional CEO and advisory services. And follow Aaron on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Aaron Hageman. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.